Alright guys, so what we got going on right now is we're going to be putting a paint mask onto this awning, and it's really the only way to get graphics on Sunbrella. Once we've taken and squeegeed everything down, then what we'll do is come back with the heat gun and we'll ensure that all the edges are nicely sealed to the Sunbrella. Lastly, what we'll do is come over the top of that again with a little bit of heat with the transfer tape off of it. Alright, so we got a little bit of water here, just basically water, and what the water will do is it'll soften up the transfer tape, and it'll allow me to pull that backer off without pulling the vinyl off, because the vinyl is just a mask. So we're going to spray that and get that wet so it softens up the adhesive, and then I usually mask in 2 panels. 3 sometimes, depending on how large the graphic is. So now I can just pull that bottom panel only, this guy right here, and just rub that in. And that will make the adhesive a lot less sticky on the transfer tape. And it won't pull that vinyl up. Always pull at a 45-degree angle to the sign or whatever it is that you're working on with your mask. Just one. Is on, and we are using the R1 8000, and then in addition to that I've used 3M spray 77, all kinds of different other spray adhesives for this, and the only product, and I found this out by accident, was this Elmer's glue product, the Elmer's glue multi-purpose spray adhesive. And as far as the Elmer's glue is concerned, I just put a light dusting on there. You don't want it, you want to make sure there's no snots or big pieces of adhesive, because they will stain this. So now I'm going to take a squeegee and just make sure everything is laying flat. Alright, so we got our mask all set. Now we're going to lay down our base color, which is going to be black, because that is the color of the awning, and it will compensate for any bleed that may happen. So I'm going to run a piece of tape across that bottom too. I always put a little dent in the can here. Always keeps it from backing down on it. This does a really good job of making sure that there aren't any bleed through or anything along those lines. So it's really the only way to do this. You always want to paint it with a similar color to the Sunbrella that you're working with. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but as I'm laying this on, I'm trying to be very consistent about not going with the not going against the edge of it. I'm kind of staying with the direction of the vinyl. So it's kind of to ensure that I don't lift any of the edges and paint underneath them. It's a little bit short on the primer there, but it'll be okay. That'll prevent from any bleeds happening. And if they do, it'll be a black bleed and you won't even notice it. Just took the heat gun here and just did a quick wave around, and all I'm doing is just trying to kick that paint off so that when I put that finish coat on, I don't end up pulling some of the black with it. So it looks like we got all the glossy spots off. So now everything looks like it's pretty well dry, at least dry enough for us to put some paint on. So I'm gonna go wash my hands and come back and we'll put some paint on. Put my brush away here, and the best way I found to do this is you got to get a trash can right next to you. You're going to need a wet towel. So we'll wet this guy up, and this is really just in case you get a little spot on there or something like that. You can address it right away, or you can wipe your fingers. Sometimes you have to utilize your fingers, and we're gonna need an X-Acto knife. I'll have to go grab one, and then we'll pull that bad boy right off. Alright, we're gonna pull that tape off the bottom, pull the tape on the top, find the best way to do this is very similar to the way you would weed the vinyl. You're going to go right to left, and I found that to be the easiest and best way to do this. So here we go, and you're going to want to move kind of slowly with it, making sure you're getting all of the vinyl off and nothing is going to bend back onto the awning. So like I'm having happen right here, so you're going to go in and grab that and try to keep it off of the back there. Alright, we got a couple little spots there, but that's nothing crazy. We'll let those dry and then we'll whack those off. We're going to have to touch up some of that red right there though. That can be a problem. We'll actually try to mix that and just scrape it into it. Get some of the heavy stuff off. Alright. I'll show you how we get those splatter marks off of there after. We're going to do that with the heat gun. That's the easiest way. Just essentially oversaturate that paint with heat and it almost cooks the paint. And it's really the easiest way to get it off of there. Alright. Here's all of our mask off. Now we are going to grab a brush. Always keep some small touch-up brushes handy. And we're going to grab a little bit of red off of that stuff that's in there. And we're just going to touch up those spots there. Perfect. Alright. Excellent. So that's pretty much it. Now we're going to take and some of those splatter spots there, I'll bring you guys up to see. There's a couple of little spots there that you'll see that where the paint kind of splattered as I pulled the mask off. We're going to superheat those and it'll actually just flake right off. I never noticed this either, but I don't know. I tend to be a little bit on the, see this here? There you go. Flakes right off. Bingo bango. Look at that, huh?